It's been 2 months since Zach Polansky was elected leader of the Green Party, and the growth that they've had since then has been absolutely incredible. And I'm going to go through all of that and break it all down in today's video and potentially answer the question of whether they could replace Labour as the party on the left in the UK and the one that is fighting reform. My name is Alex on Politics. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I post much longer content than I do on my TikTok. I hope you do enjoy the content. Make sure to follow my TikTok as well and subscribe here if you're new because I'm independent and authentic. So I'm going to start off with obviously the election that took place in September between the two co-leaders running type thing, Adrian Ramsey and Ellie Chowns, who ran against Zach Polansky in the Green Party leadership race. This was quite a landslide for Zach Polansky, who did win 85% of the total votes, but it only came to about 50,000, so only 50,000 members actually voted in that election. But all in all, it was a pretty big landslide election win for Zach Polansky. I think people liked his eco-populism mentality and the proper marketing that he was doing, going out, speaking to people, making himself known as the leader of the Green Party. And I think he did pretty well in selling that to them. But since then, they've had an insane membership rise, going from, nearly tripling the membership, going from just over 60,000 members at the point of the election to now over 150,000 members, overtaking the Conservatives, over doubling the Liberal Democrats. And this has all been done in about 2 months. Their average polling across all the UK pollsters that do it every week has gone up as well from 11, actually about 10% in September to now overtaking the Liberal Democrats and averaging about 14% as well, with one poll a couple of weeks ago even putting them second in terms of voting intention, just behind Reform, and obviously overtaking Labour, the current government. The Green Party itself, this has been completely unprecedented. I certainly didn't think that even with a charismatic or populist leader of the Green Party that they'd actually do as well as they have. I mean, at the end of the day, they've never been a large party that's challenged properly in elections or has been anywhere close to getting power. But it seems like the tide could be turning. I mean, over doubling your membership in 2 months is quite impressive, especially in a party that's never really got above 70,000 members before. And it just shows that, Zach Polansky is clearly doing a good job at running the Green Party and is providing an option on the left, which wasn't really there once Labour started moving kind of towards the centre and being more pragmatic. But yeah, they're overtaking the Conservatives in terms of membership, which was really interesting to see. I mean, the Conservatives, I doubt they've even got anywhere close to 120,000 members right now. But for the Green Party to overtake the UK's most successful and oldest party is just completely incredible. I did not think that I'd see this in my lifetime, especially considering where the Green Party were only a few years ago when they had less than 50,000 members. But obviously, the leader, Zach Polansky, has been a big factor in attracting all of these new members and all of these new supporters. Since becoming leader of the Green Party, he got his first appearance on Question Time, where he was up against one of Reform's main internet presence, I guess, with Zia Yusuf. And I think he did a decent job from a Green Party perspective. When you're looking at how he dealt with Zia Yusuf and how he dealt with the audience and stuff, it seemed like the audience was pretty much on his side for a lot of the things that he was saying. And I think that he didn't necessarily back down or seem nervous as a lot of people would on their first Question Time appearance. He's also been on, technically Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg, but Victoria Derbyshire interviewed him then. But he's had a lot of TV appearances and a lot of attention put on him, which the Green Party never really had until now. And I think a lot of people are seeing this surge from them and thinking, okay, maybe they've got something to say and let's share that. But I think it's really raised his profile in the Green Party as well, which has also drawn more members. I also like how he's not necessarily career politician in the sense that he attracts a lot of attention, especially on social media, because he's not necessarily he hasn't got a team that's sort of running his social medias and putting up boring posts. He's got a bit of humour in him as well, which is very rare to see in politics these days, which is obviously what's helping the younger generation. Obviously, he's quite young and he's connecting well with, current trends, I guess. He's also sort of brought the Green Party from now not necessarily being an eco-friendly, environmentally clean energy, focus party to now actually operating across a wide range of issues. He calls for the wealth tax. He's a bit skeptical towards NATO, which is something I don't necessarily agree with. He has definitely broadened their horizons when it comes to appealing to different voters, which has also probably helped them as well in the polls. Answering the age-old question of what's it looking like for them in the future, based on everything that I've said. I mean, at the moment, before I say that, they are predicted, I think, on average to win about 30 seats potentially in the next election, which is obviously a 6 times increase on what they had in the last election, or actually no, about 7 times. But obviously, that's not a great deal, especially considering that they're not necessarily a party which has a voter base everywhere. They're usually more in like constrained areas like Bristol, Brighton. These sort of places are where most of their votes are going to be located and most of their chances of winning seats. Which is something they've probably got to look towards if they want to become more successful. But I guess we'll see that again in the local council elections next year. But in terms of the future in general, this could be a turning point for the left in the UK, whether everyone is going to decide to all go behind one party moving into this next election, because at the moment, the left of the UK are still looking for someone to counter Reform. I mean, Reform have taken all of the right votes. Now, they're the sole party on the right, but the left sort of needs to unite now. Do I think it's going to be the Green Party? It may be. Obviously, Labour will never endorse the Green Party because they're currently in government, so they're going to continue to run against everything that they've done and run against the Greens as well. And obviously, Zach Polanski doesn't want to do a deal with anyone. He's in it to win it. He's obviously said that he wants to replace Labour. Right now, based on their current trajectory, it's not going to be long before they start countering Reform in terms of membership and potentially even the polls. I think it would take a lot longer for the polls because if you think about it, Reform have had the entire media attention put on them for the last year and a half, nearly 2 years. If you look at this 2 years in the future, maybe the Green Party will have similar. So it's going to take them a while for people to quite understand what they're about and see if they actually like them or not. But it is definitely interesting and it's definitely something to keep an eye on because, you know, they're soaring in membership. They're getting lots of attention across the news and they are obviously rising in the polls and people are starting to get behind them. I know they've definitely got the Gen Z votes. I mean, I think they're the highest in terms of voting attention for Gen Z, which is interesting because at the start, I think it was that the Liberal Democrats were up there with them, but they've dropped behind. But it's definitely been something that has been quite interesting to see and quite unprecedented in, you know, modern UK politics when you consider that we don't usually see such large increases or such rapid increases in popularity from a party, especially not one that was considered a minority party for the longest time. And my final thoughts, there is definitely a possibility that we could see Green versus Reform in the next election, but that's me just saying off the last few months. They could fall off. You never know in British politics. For now, if you're a Green Party voter and a Green Party supporter, the future is looking good. I don't see why they'd have anything to complain about. But they've just got to maintain their media presence and continue to, you know, spread their views and their reasons for why they want to do things. That's the only way that they're going to be able to bring voters to them, is to keep up the momentum. But anyway, this is me, Alex of Politics. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Follow my TikTok. We're nearly at 2,000 followers on there. We're nearly at, you know, we're on the way to 300 subscribers here. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.